National Republican Party has taken over the name of the Tea Party and spewing out their own liberal agenda in a conservative way, and they're trying to dilute our conservative vote by throwing in as many people as they can into this Republican primary coming up. And they're holding Perry in the wings, saying that he's going to be the saving grace for the Republican Party. And I'm telling you, he's worse. He's done more harm to the state of Texas than the Bushes have ever done.
Yeah, they're selling him as the Deus Ex, the guy that's going to save everybody at the last minute. I mean, this is, well, I mean, talk about it. He's doubled in his 10 years as governor the budget.
Yep.
He's passed all these new taxes on businesses, really a state income tax and the franchise tax.
Right.
Forced inoculations, NAFTA superhighways, Al Gore's footstool. I knew from insiders he was always planning to run and said that over a year ago. I talked to Fox News people and others, you know, that met with him privately, and he had that fake pledge he wouldn't run, and then he broke, and now he's looking at breaking the pledge. He always meant to. It's this whole fake, reluctant act. And you know what? Republicans are going to elect him. They love Al Gore at the end of the day. They love being conned. And that's what, Wayne, they don't want something real like Ron Paul because he doesn't have the fancy hair. They like twinkle toes. They like the effeminate Perry. And they're going to get it. They want to be slaves, some of them.
Well, again, I go back to the point that they can't discuss issues with Ron because they know he's right. So rather than discuss issues and to bring them up so that the American people can have a clear-cut choice, they just as soon undercut them by throwing these other people out as conservatives so that the conservatives get confused and think a Perry or a Bachmann would do a better job and be more as conservative, and that's just not the case.
Talk about your brother, Ron Paul. Well, you know, before we get into Ron and his presidential run, that regardless we win because he's educating people, but he's in the number 1, number 2, or number 3 slot, depending on which straw poll or national poll. The media is trying to run the hoax that, oh, he can't win. It's the contrary. He's got 10 times the power he did 3-4 years ago because so much of what he talked about is unfortunately manifested, and he is the thinking person's candidate. But let's look at the stealth candidate, Perry, who is designed to knock Ron Paul out. Let's look at the real enemy here, and he's going to team up with one of the ladies, whether it was going to be Palin, it may be Bachmann now. You heard it here first years ago, folks. Watch. We know what we're talking about, so people listen. Let's talk about, I mean, I mentioned some of the things, but horrible for Texas. He's always saying Texas is great because of him. He wants us to believe the sun comes up because of him. How has Perry been bad for Texas?
Well, there are 3 major issues that I look at. One of the major ones is the TTC, or the Trans-Texas Corridor. He has done more to confiscate private property, to build toll roads, and then to lease these toll roads to foreign companies to run. And they say that that deal is dead. It's just under another name. It's not dead. The second item that bothers me is our education system. Under Perry, we rank 36th in the nation in high school graduation rates. We rank 49th in verbal SAT scores, 47th in literacy, and 46th in the average math scores. We've lost our education edge, and it is under his administration. But the last thing that I think is worse than ever is his stance on illegal immigration.
Oh, yeah, he claims he's fighting it, but tell folks, he was the guy that got sanctuary cities through and in-state tuition for illegals.
And there is a relative solution that could aid Texas in their budget problems and still be compassionate to illegals, but to turn around and do something about it. And all you need to do is look in other countries and other locations as to how they handle immigration. And if it was done in Texas, it would be fantastic for Texas. It would be fantastic for the illegals. And it would be fantastic for the United States. It's a very simple solution. He won't even look at it.
Now, we don't want to do what Mexico does. They put you in a slave camp for a year. I mean, of course, but then they say our borders have got to be wide open, but they've got some of the strongest in the world after North Korea. Right. What is your solution that other countries have used?
Well, every person that's in this country illegally, if they had 25 days to register, when they register, they bring in $1,500 of their money, but they come in with a sponsor who pays $1,000. That $2,500 is put into a special education fund to teach the illegal how to become a United States citizen.
But they don't want that. They want to keep them in their little subdivisions and use them as political weapons. Stay there. We'll be right back. Absolutely. I tell you, Wayne Paul is dead on this. We'll be right back.
Big Berkey water filters are in high demand. Storable foods are also in high demand. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has always kept our focus on the Berkey water filter products. But increasingly, our customers have been asking for storable foods. After months of research, BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com now offers great tasting, long-lasting, storable foods. These ready-to-eat meals are packed in airtight nitrogen pouches. All you do is just add water. And because they're sealed so well, they come with a 25-year shelf life. Combine our Berkey water filters, which are powerful enough to purify treated, untreated, or even stagnant pond water with our storable foods, and you have a winning combination. Remember, we offer free shipping on every order over $50, and GCN listeners receive 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit BigBerkey waterfilters.com or call 877-99-BERKEY. That's BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com or call 877-99-BERKEY today.
They helped to create a new world order.
We are part of a new world order.
A new world order based upon collective action.
Invisible Empire is a damning indictment of the globalists through their own words and documents.
The new world order really is a tool for addressing a new world of possibilities.
It means all the world under their control.
The United Nations would take over America. The Trilateral Commission would control the world.
Invisible Empire chronicles how men of power and influence have worked in stealth for centuries to establish an oppressive world government.
I believe, first of all, that we now need nothing short of a world constitution for the global financial system.
Global governance with the establishment of the G20.
So it's going to be an inner ruling elite and then everyone else. And I got news for you. You're everyone else.
Invisible Empire. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com or watch it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Are you tired of spending money for metal canning lids year after year? Then stop. Stop buying metal lids and get Tatler reusable canning lids. Made of USDA and FDA-approved food-grade plastic, Tatler canning lids let you safely store emergency preparedness foods for years. Traditional metal lids are single-use throwaways that contain BPA, but Tatler canning lids are indefinitely reusable and guaranteed to last a lifetime when used as designed for home canning and contain no BPA. Tatler lids are dishwasher safe, perfect for standard pressure or water bath canning, eliminate food spoilage from acid corrosion, fit standard mason jars, and are proudly made in the USA. Place orders by phone at 877-747-2793 or go to reusablecanninglids.com. That's 1-877-747-2793 or go to reusablecanninglids.com. That's reusablecanninglids.com. Tatler Reusable Canning Lids, the original since 1976.
Wayne Paul is our guest in this segment and the next, and I'm getting into the world news, your phone calls, and a lot more. In fact, if you'd like to go ahead and call on any of the issues we've raised today, the toll-free number to join us is 800-259 9231, 1-800-259-9231, where you can raise any item or news point you'd like to bring up, or any questions or comments. We'd love to hear from you. Wayne, I want to talk about your brother announcing win, lose, or draw. He's leaving Congress, not seeking re-election. The only way he stays in government is to be the president. But before we go there, with the brother of Ron Paul, himself a great activist in liberty, with Wayne Paul, finish up your point about the program to try to make illegals actually Americans and to share in liberty instead of being taught how to be anti-American collectivist.
Well, it's kind of interesting because that idea I had for quite a while, but in talking with the Americans that have a Mexican descendancy, they were the ones that wanted to promote it. They said we would love to find a way to turn around and be able to bring these people on board, make them citizens. But you pointed out, they don't want somebody that's educated, they don't want somebody that's intelligent, and they don't want somebody that understands the Constitution. But you sure you can make their sponsor liable for that individual, so that if he got into trouble, it's the sponsor's responsibility to help out, and you could do this until they learned enough.
And then that would weed out the criminal element.
Absolutely.
Instead, the government leaves it lawless, doesn't enforce anything, and it becomes the Wild Wild West, and they use that as a pretext to take more of our freedoms.
Right, and you then end up with productive citizens.
Good point. Now, going back to your brother, presidential candidate Ron Paul, we had him on a few weeks ago. Can't wait till we have him back up in a few weeks. But he's announced he's retiring from the House after long, great duty. He's either going to the White House or he's going home.
Yeah, and I admire him for his time and effort. I can't believe that he has been so strong for so long. But I'm going to tell you, he's paid his dues, and he deserves to sit back and say who else is going to carry on in his stead. And we need to find people that will run in his district that have similar philosophies and continue his tradition. And I just hope we find somebody that meets those standards.
Well, he's got a good chance of winning the presidency if we believe he can win. He's number one in many polls, number 2 or 3, and the others winning a lot of the key straw polls, places like New Hampshire. But regardless, he wins by injecting real issues. But, talking to Ron Paul off air a few weeks ago, he sounded really happy. And this is a guy who works 16, 18 hours a day. I don't know how he does it. And I can imagine, I dream about not doing this. I can't imagine being, 75 years old? 70? How old is he now?
He's 75.
Wow. What did he tell you about wanting to retire if he doesn't win the presidency?
He's never talked to me about it. I think it's just been something that's been playing on his mind. I think he wants to spend more time with his grandchildren and great-grandchildren. He wants to spend some more time with his wife. He wants to relax a little bit and enjoy everything that he's worked so hard for. We kind of pick on him because he's the middle of 5 boys. So, but do you know, last week or so, the congressman played baseball, and he hit a home run.
I know, he's incredible. He's a war horse. Folks, I know how hard it is to think hour after hour every day. It's very exhausting. I get tired just looking at Ron Paul. We'll be right back.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress